agreed to. The Honourable Member for Windermere in reply.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'm moving here a bit easier. So,
Excuse me, Mr. President, just by way of clarification before the member starts, the member for Murchison asked a question wrapped around the ministerial influence over TMAC. The medical chief officer was in a meeting, so we couldn't get the answer, but we have it now. He says that the minister has no influence on the committee's decision-making ability, which is evidenced and clinically based.
thank you. Thank you for that. I want to thank all members for their contributions on this motion, and I'm of the view that they were probably some of the most powerful, I guess, contributions I've heard for a long time on a motion, you know, on the specific point. And we get great contributions in this place, and that's one of the benefits and advantages of it. We all come from different walks of life, and that is shown out in this place.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
But they were, you know, I thought they were very, very strong contributions by everybody. And if the government, Mr. President, was listening to these contributions, and if they can still say after all of that they are doing enough in this area, then in my view, they are just taking no notice and shutting off from what's happening here. You know, that is just how strong it has been. It really has. And I just invite them to take a look at what has been said later and to point it out by all members who've made a contribution. And those that haven't, I would think would probably support this in any event as well. I'll be very surprised if they don't. So I just can't say enough about that, and I think that whatever I say now is not going to come anywhere near that standard of contribution, Mr. President, and I say that genuinely. I say that. So I just want to make one or two comments, and I won't be too long on this. Our doctors are pivotal in this whole issue, as they were in the previous matter that we've been dealing with over a long period of time. They are one of the, well, they are the organisation that's on the very top of that status ladder that I keep referring to. You know, the public, the people have the absolute utmost faith in our doctors. So this is not a position here, Mr. President, of we're wanting access to this product without the proper process in place and without the medical fraternity having a big and major part in this whole thing. So we look and come back to them, and as I said, we admire them, and we have the greatest amount of faith in those people. We shouldn't be taking any course, and I thank members for raising these issues, we shouldn't be taking any course, Mr. President, that is pushing people towards an illegal access to this product. And that, unfortunately and sadly, is what we are doing. That's what we're doing. When we talk about, and I do have a problem when they say that we should, every product, every medicine that's on the shelf should be trialled in the first place. And before TMAC, as I understand it, will sign off on providing access to medicinal cannabis. That worries me, and it worries me from a number of perspectives. And I've raised one already, and it's been raised here by a number, that you know, some of these medicines have severe side effects. And in actual fact, I can say that I was recently on one that had tremendous side effects, and I had to give it away like that and put up with the problem I had. The problem I had was much better than the medicine I was taking to try and control it.
Mr. President, that's exactly the point that needs to be made. The side effect is often worse than the ailment.
That's right. And a lot of these medicines, the three outstanding medicines, as I understand it, are still yet to be trialled here. They have, as I understand it, severe warnings on them of side effects. And one has a sign on it or something that could cause blindness. Why would you, if you're trialling medications, once you get to, you've trialled heaps and heaps of medications, and that's what's happened here in the Cleaver case, and you come up with a medication of your own that you're able to look at and it gives you relief, why would you then keep trialling other medications with side effects? Why would you force people down that path? That's the point I want to make. We should not do it. To me, it's irresponsible, it's wrong, and we should never go near it. Just not right, in my view, that we do that.
And through you, Mr. President, it'd be interesting to know how many different types of product that supposedly have the same effect that you have to try as well.
That's the one thing I haven't asked to Cleve, is just how many medications they have trialled, other than to know that they have trialled many. I don't know the number, and I'm not going to have a guess at that. So yeah, that really concerns me. The Windermere story is a very strong one, and I remembered that when the member for McIntyre started referring to us, and we know exactly what was happening there, and the impact on that family was just enormous, and we know why they went in the direction that they did, and good on them for doing that. What we're doing, and I said this before, and other members said it, we're making criminals of people, and that's what we are. We're making criminals of them. Whether they're caught or not, that's what they are. They're criminals because they're acting contrary to the law. Growing, cultivating, manufacturing, really, that's what they are, Mr. President. You know what should happen here? I would urge the police to start taking action against these people. I would urge the police, because once that happens, there will be an outcry. There will be an absolute outcry, and there will be protests, and there will be everything else will be occurring, because you're taking a medicine away from a person who needs it and is giving them control and is helping them and so on. So I think if that happened, we would have an action taken very, very quickly. The people wouldn't put up with it. They would not put up with it. So I'm not sure that wouldn't be something that should happen. I would feel sorry for those people involved, but that might be a way that we'd get the stronger action that we want to take. The member, I think I was trying to get the point where the leader of the government said it needed to be evidence-based, is it? This is happening, it is there, please. Something about it needed to be, the government supports a use. Yeah, it has to be sensible and evident, and an evidence-based to support it. Words to that effect were said. Well, this is evidence-based, Mr. President. It is evidence-based. How much more evidence do you want? It's there and it's sensible. I just want to raise that point. It is there. We don't need any more evidence. We really don't. How many levels of approval do you want? And I think the member for Hobart and others might have mentioned, or the member for Huon, I think, mentioned this. How many levels of approval do you need? You've got the Therapeutic Goods Administration. I would have thought that with that organisation, with their background and what they do, that I would have thought that would have been sufficient. But no, we have TMAC on top of that. I'm surprised we haven't got somebody else on top of that. Just where do you go? Just to me, I just question at times some of the things that we do and why do we do it. We can't legally cultivate cannabis here. You can't legally do that. You've got to have licences and permits and so on in some cases now for that to happen. I think somebody mentioned medicinal versus recreational. Well, yes, that's not what this is about. This is about medicinal cannabis. We're not talking about recreational cannabis. We're not talking about that at all. That doesn't come into this. Not in no way should that come in here to have some impact on what this motion is calling for and asking for. And the member for Hobart was certainly right when he said, I think it was, that it needs to be regulated, and that's what we're all saying. It needs to be clearly regulated and controlled, and that's clearly not the position at the present time. So, Mr. President, so having said those words, I just would urge all members to give support to this motion, and I would ask that the government, they're paying lip service to it, yes, they're noting it, but can't support it. I just really do have a concern about that, and if the government were to go back and look at all of the information that's come through here this afternoon in relation to this matter and still take that course of action, then in my view, they are missing the point and missing the point miserably. And they really ought to take a good look at where they are and what they're doing here. So please, government, please, people, health, have a look at this and start and get an action that is going to help these people move forward in the right way. I thank members for their contributions and I commend the bill to the House, or the motion to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it.